outages. I experienced it, and I tried finding out the cause. I realized that they say there was a shortage in gas supply.
Yes.
And that they were working on it. So I saw another release that says that it's been rectified. So we thank God. And when it started going off, most especially at my workplace, we had to put on the genset.
Okay.
It hit me to note that, yes, in the past, when it comes to what has now been known as Doomsor, it did not start today. Under Chairman Rawlings, may he so rest in peace, we experienced it, and it was intensive. The government, led by Jerry John Rawlings, brought up on board Abuadi Power Plant. Then we realized that we could no longer depend solely on the Akosombo Dam because of the change in the climate and all that. Sometimes you get so much rain, sometimes you don't get enough rain, and we were paying for it to suffer Doomsor. So he brought on board the first power plant, and then the cost, because these barges use crude, some gas and all that. It meant that we had to pay more for electricity. It is cheaper to use hydro, but hydro per the weather patterns and conditions, sometimes it's dependable, sometimes you can't depend on it. So we moved, and the electricity began becoming expensive. One thing we all have to note is that as a country we are expanding. People are building more houses. People are opening businesses. So we could no longer depend on the 120 megawatts alone. Fast forward, under President Kufuor, we had same challenges. So they went into our archives. That is how come they decided to build the Bui Dam. Today, Bui is completed, but it does not give us what we need. Bui was started by President Kufuor and completed by Professor Mills. Commissioning, he went with President Kufuor to commission. It was a beautiful thing that I thought we should continue. And then one of the ways President Kufuor attempted to solve Doomsor was to bring some machines, genset. Dr. Reku Brobe, also a member of the MPP and who was in charge of VRA, said the machines President Kufuor brought were toy machines. Anybody can Google. At the end of the day, during the era of the NDC, we realized that it was becoming a nuisance. We sold it to Sierra Leone for some money put back into the economy. And under President Kufuor, one of his solutions was also that pastors should go to Akosombo and pray that the water level will rise. We wanted a miracle so badly. Good. Today, I know that solving certain issues like energy crisis is not by prayer, not by fasting. As Jesus even said, when there was an issue that was brought before him, said, this thing does not go by prayer and fasting. So there are things that wisdom, knowledge must be applied to solve. God created you and I in his own image. It means that if God is a creator, you can also create. What we do, we call it innovation, inventions. That is for you and I to do. When God created man and woman, this material, this hair that Abner is wearing was not there. This is the creation of man, exhibiting the God factor in us. So fast forward, under President Mills, President Mahama as the vice then, we experienced Doomsor. That is even when this word found itself on Google and all that. Yes, and President Mahama came out boldly to say that he could not sleep. And that was the time that his hair became white. Those who are very observant could see. He was a very young man. All of a sudden, his hair became gray.
So Dumso gave Mahama gray hair. Is that what
I'm telling you what I saw.
Okay. From what you saw.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, if you think too much, that is what I was told. If you are thinking and always reading research and trying to solve problems
And not being able to sleep.
and not be having enough sleep, there are physical or health conditions that one can even get. If I'm sitting before you and wearing this is not what, it wasn't part of me. It was during the 2020 elections. Pressure, stress, that I realized that if I wake up, I could not see the letters on my phone. If I open the book, I only see shadows. So I had to go for this. It's all part of the growing and being active. So during the era of John Dramani Mahama, he said he will ensure that Dumso will be a thing of the past. It was during that time that Dr. Kwabena Donko said if he could not resolve it, he will resign. And true to his word, even though at the time he resigned, we had resolved it, he felt it was time for him to bow out. He did. So President Mahama, how did he solve Dumso? It was a capacity problem. He had to bring on board 2 power badges that we call car power badge. We have Ameri on stream, TAPCO, and more independent power institutions. That today as we speak, when we talk of capacity, we are over 5,000. He picked it from somewhere 1,200, 2,000, 2,003, and then today we have even excess that this Nana Addo-led administration, all the ministers who have been in charge of energy and power have admitted that we have excess, to the point that they decided to cancel many of the contracts. Today, there's even Trafigura, if you have read, that they are seeking to sell our properties in the UK, in United Kingdom, including our High Commission. Ghana properties are on sale because of the cancellation and frustration of some of these contracts. Ghana is losing over $140 million to judgment debt. So, my brother, today, why should we be having this issue with lights out, lights on, lights out, Dumso as we call it? They said it's shortage of gas. Now, during the era of President John Fifi Atta Mills, we have discovered oil in commercial quantity per the work that GMPC did, and President Kufuor also came to continue. We were flaring gas. Today that gas has been channeled. We have an industry called Atuabo Gas plant that is feeding these power stations. So we no longer depend on Nigeria as we used to. That when there's a terrorist attack or when the Niger Delta there's confusion, they will attack the gas pipeline, and there was blockade and shortage and all that, and it affected us. So today we have our own. I'm happy it has been resolved, but I realized that I spent more than I used under President Mahama's Dumso in powering my generator. Getting 4 gallons for the whole day, as last week in Durban, where my businesses we went off, cost me almost 250 cedis to get 4 gallons. But under John Dramani Mahama, 4 gallons was only 60 cedis. So it means that it is no longer funny to even decide that your lights are out and you want to use your gen set. It's very expensive. So my brother, we are urging our leaders that we should no longer be experiencing doom so if we have excess capacity. Whatever is needed, for me, all I want is my light because I pay for it. If I don't pay, ECG will come and disconnect me. So it is my right to enjoy the light. It is every Ghanaian's right to enjoy light, which is electricity. Thank you, my brother.
But don't you think that they are working enough? They are working around the clock to make sure that they fix it? Because they said on Saturday that the gas problem has now been fixed.
My brother, in the developed countries, Japan, Asia, China, US, Europe, they also have engineers who work round the clock. But today in New York, if the light should go off even for 10 minutes, for them it's a crisis. It means that somebody is not doing their job. But it is only in our parts of the world that when somebody is given a job to do, they create problems for us and they solve it for you to know they are doing their job. There shouldn't be any excuse in this day and age.
But when you gave excuses and
we never gave excuses. We told you the problems and we solved it.
So you kept
today.
We are fixing.
Yes, and we fixed it.
Exactly. And so if there are problems like this and you are also fixing, don't you think?
Let us move further, my brother. Let us move further to probe. How did we get that shortage? What happened? Yes, what happened? If it is that Atuabo had to shut down to do some maintenance, you and I need to know. We need to know. However, the shortage came about. We need to know. We shouldn't just take it that there was shortage of gas, so we are okay.
Okay. Let me go for a commercial break. When I come back.